all this coffee. Back at it, man. Another NFL blog real quick for y'all. My fellow Bills fans, we transition into this tough, long off season. It's depressing. But I just did a video a moment ago. Go check that out, man. Damar Hamlin disrespected by Eli Apple on some fluckery. Go check that out if you're a Bills fan. If you're a football fan, I want to hear your opinion. But shout out to that angry Buffalo sports fan or angry Bills fan. Apologies. He commented on my previous video, right? As you know, everyone's trying to dissect, understand how we look so fucking horrible out there. And he left a comment saying, basically, if the whole coaching staff is back or something to that extent, I won't be watching next year. You know what I mean? We got all this talent. We got Allen. We've pushed this far, but we just can't get over the hump and get to that Super Bowl. You know what I mean? A couple of years ago, conference championship. Now back-to-back defeated in the divisional round. So I actually just responded to him. I think he might have responded back. I don't know, but saying, hey, are you saying you want to see the whole coaching staff change or just particular coordinators or what? You know, like, let's talk about it. And I come across this thread here. This is on the Buffalo Fanatics Instagram. If you're a Bills fan, you already know who they are. So I don't got to plug them, be like, oh, go check it. Like they got a huge platform compared to mine. But peep it. Oh, no, this ain't it. Right here. They said this thread is perfection, right? So we see Big Baller Beane talking to McDermott, and this is Mike Florio, right? He says, yesterday I said that Josh Allen covers up a lot of bad for the Bills, and people were quick to say he's not without blame. And obviously, no QB is when their team loses that way. But I don't think people realize fully how much he has covered up for people in that building. So interesting, guys. Comment, join the discussion. A lot more tweets to go, but just want to, say off the rip, do you believe that to be true? You know what I mean? Like for the average sports fan, when we give our takes and stuff like that, there's so much going on in a game of football with the coaching, play calling, schemes, what's going on when you break actual film down, the all 22 reviews and everything. Like it's a whole lot. So a lot of times I miss things. Hell, even the guys that do this ish for a living and have played the game of football miss things. You know what I mean? But what do y'all think? Because Allen's been criticized a lot this year. We know he was playing through an injury, all kinds of different things going on, but we saw some struggles. And of course, what we saw out there was abysmal yesterday. I mean, it was bad. Damn, was that just, feels like a week ago. Like this ish hurts. But what do you guys think? Has Allen been covering up? Let's continue on. It says, Sean McDermott likely isn't going to go anywhere. But for someone whose top qualities are leadership and defensive prowess, he always seems to get out coached in the big games. And the defense always seems to be the ones crumbling. So interesting, guys. That year we went to the conference championship against KC. Like it was tough. Were we out coached? Was it talent that was much different? That much what made the difference or what? And what about last year? Let's continue on though. Oh, here we go. This is kind of what I was just trying to get at right here. The last 4 playoff exits. Blew a multiple score second half lead, blown out by KC, 13-second kickoff, and yesterday, oh man, that blow, the multiple lead, that was the Houston game. We got flucked in that one. The team definitely crumbled in the second half, right? But if they didn't fluck us on that BS kickoff to kick off the second half, where we would have been up by 3 scores, I don't know that that game goes that way, but still, you can't crumble and complain. But it's just we did get flucked on that. But the defense can bully bad teams in the regular season, but can't stop a good offense when they have to. At this point, it's a trend, inexcusable one at that. Now, I do want to point out, though, defensively, I really feel like the injuries mounting up, especially in the secondary over the season, played a big factor. But I don't know, like, again, I'm just thinking out loud, and I want to hear from all the other Bills fans out there, like, your take on all this, what we're covering. But, a podcast I was listening to yesterday, actually, I think it was the Rico Report, the Fanatics, whose IG I'm on right now. And he was talking about Leslie Frazier. And I'm like, yo, I don't know. Like, what does everyone think? Is like Leslie in the hot seat? Is like, I don't know. I feel like Leslie Frazier's done a pretty good job, but I mean, when we're breaking it down like this, the big games is what matters, and you can do whatever all season long, but when you choke in the big games, or you get embarrassed, or you just drop the ball, something's got to be addressed, right? Let's continue on. I had another point. Sorry, guys. For those that watch the channel regularly, Jay Coffee talks like it's what I do. So apologies. I like to just get it all out, especially right now. I'm dealing with this, guys. Like, this hurts, man. So I'll vent a little bit, right? Brandon Beane gets such a high regard for finding Allen, but that 2018 was the last of his that had any Pro Bowl players. So much capital has been wasted on undersized D linemen who can't generate pressure against the backup O-line. Yo, we got bullied in the trench. Like, the Bengals bullied us, period, but we really lost the battle in the trenches. They drafted a cornerback in the first round and were too scared to use him for most of the year despite the secondary issues. The big addition to the offense was pass-catching running backs, only to never throw the ball to the running backs. That O-line got ignored despite clear issues. Yo, the running backs, like, again, I'm talking about the Buffalo Fanatics. Is it Singletary's contract year? I think so, but Rico was like, yo, or no, I think Rico was reading someone's comment who said, man, watch Singletary go eat somewhere like he's supposed to. Watch Motor go do his thing. But I was just going to say, it's just been crazy in these years that we've been so great. Like, the run game, it's like, just, we can never establish it. Then we do, then we don't. I don't know. Like, just another point I'm thinking out loud with. And that's the frustrating part. It's like there was no real plan. The game plan didn't fit personnel at all. The Bills' receiver room had two receivers who could win outside or downfield and a bunch of slot guys, and then operated an offense built around the deep ball. So much stuff here. But, again, it's just wild, like, big baller Beans get so much love, but then now, I don't know, man, analyzing things is just crazy. And again, guys, I'm just broke down. For those that watch the channel regularly, Coffee's going through like a real life crisis, a bit depressed, family issues, and then to this loss just really has my head spinning. So bear with me, guys. Okay, there was no quick pass aspect to this offense all year. Slot wide receiver role vanished. That's pretty true. For not saying that other stuff isn't, but I'm just like, read that right there. Like, yeah, like, very bizarre in the slot. Like, right? That's an outstanding point. Allen was expected to scramble to avoid pressure and find someone deep, which is even harder when your best deep threat has questionable hands and routinely drops well-placed ones like yesterday. He's talking about Gabe there. Gabe definitely dropped a pass, that one along the sidelines on that third down. Very key moment right there. Like, come on, Gabe. Yo, and it's like, I pointed this out before too, right? Gabe Davis, that huge playoff game. Isn't it so crazy last year losing to KC? Gabe would have been the hero. He set a record with 4 touchdowns in that playoff game, right? And then, that gets overshadowed by the dramatic last-second loss, right? But a lot of people, like Gabe, only came on his radar then. I had like what I had seen from Gabe in his rookie season, but it's like he just regressed so much this year. So much. Right, guys? Like, Gabe, I don't know what's been up with this guy this year. Yo, and another thing too, kind of off topic, right? But late in the game yesterday, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Where we went for it on a fourth down when we were in field goal range. Would you, just curious, would you have took the 3 and went for an onside kick? I don't know why. Not that it matters. It don't mean ish, but just curious. Wanted to throw that out there. The Bills hired a first-year play caller in the most offensive-driven era in NFL history in their championship window, despite one not having won a Super Bowl in over 30 years. Just short-sighted moves that never seemed to gel with any sort of actual plan. There was never any situational football with this team. Yesterday, on maybe the biggest play of the day, 3rd and 2, they threw 40 yards downfield, then punted. It largely felt like Dorsey would pick a play at random, and not just yesterday. This was all year long. They can out-talent teams in the regular season, and Josh Allen is a unicorn who can play ball and save the day most of the time. But if he has an off game, this team has no shot of beating an actual good team. This roster was very flawed, and now it's aging with little cap. So I just want to say, too, that was something, I heard someone point out yesterday, like, if Josh, and this was something, and again, when I'm saying this, I'm throwing it out there to ask you guys. I'm not trying to, like, declare this, right? But that was coming up narrative yesterday, like, in that kind of came to the run game and everything like that. But like, is it like that? Is it Josh? Like, Josh has an off day. We can't get the run game to pick up 150 yards or something to take the load off. Like, is that what it is? Is it, where Josh has been criticized? Was it him covering up too much? I don't know. Again, I'm just thinking out loud. Take Allen off this team, and I'm not sure they're 500. Damn. Turnovers have been an issue, but that's to be expected when Allen is asked to match Mahomes' Burrow stats with his arm while also being the team's RB1. It's a ton to ask of any player, especially with this play calling. The approach to building this team needs to change. It can't be invest in the defense and Allen will carry the offense every game. If McDermott and Frazier can't figure it out with so much invested into it, change gears. And is this the last one? Yes, this is the last one. If there was ever a time to change, it's now. The defense has been built around 6 players. 2 are free agents, Poyer and Edmonds. Again, guys, I'm really interested to know what everyone thinks about Poyer. If because we know there was negotiation issues leading into this season, and is that the last we saw of the dynamic duo of Poyer and Hyde? I was going nuts when I saw that he was practicing leading into the playoffs. Then he didn't play. I was like, oh, damn, we're going to get... So is that it for the dynamic duo? 6 players. 2 are free agents, Poyer, Edmonds. 3 are working back from severe injuries, White, Vaughn, Hyde, and the other is Milano. Man, it really hurted. Like, dude, we were banged up from injuries all year, man. All year, but it would have been really nice to have Vaughn out there too, right? I don't know how they work around those contracts, but they have to try and mix it up. That's something people have been bringing up a lot, like the cap space and stuff. Things is tricky right now, to put it lightly. Start loading up around Allen and trying to outscore everyone. It's basically what they have to do in the playoffs anyway. I'm frustrated, as I'm sure many Bills fans are right now. Will 100% be back next year, but really hoping we see some changes before then. Adding one thing here, no juice. In the biggest game of the season at home with DeMar in the building, it's absolutely inexcusable. The Bills were dominated in a way that haven't been in years. No juice. What are we doing here? And again, I said this in my previous video. I'll leave the link below. I'm really, want to hear everyone's take on that as well. Guys, that man, to see DeMar, you see him in the booth, right? Then you hear that he came down, talked to the team at the halftime, and it nothing. You know what I mean? Like that really is just flat out, like Michael Florio said, inexcusable, embarrassing, right? I mean, again, this team had struggles this season, but I don't think anyone, even people who are will say, "Oh, I knew since he was going to win." I don't think anyone would have thought that would have won in that fashion. Like that was something else. And again, they just put this thread as perfection. I want to read a few of these comments, and then I'm gonna slide out of here. Air Helen 17. I will jump higher next year. This guy says, "Where is the lie? There isn't one. This is painful because it's all true. Love this team and organization, but we need to be better in every phase, at every level, and in every coaching management position. Nah, he is a double agent, always has been, gets them in trouble, then bails them out." Pierre says, "Accurate. Gotta be true, though. We're wasting Allen if we don't win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. He's too good to not have a ring." And this is the last one I'm going to read, and then I'm going to close this out. "It's perfect if you're into overreacting and forgetting that before McBeane got here, we were a culture of failure that no one ever spoke highly of. McDermott and Beane have only had their own fully roster built since 2019 and took a big dent when their established play caller left, who I remind you was a positional coach before they hired him to that role, which is DeBall, right? I'd coach him with the Giants. Man, they got, I didn't think the Giants, I'm not saying I thought they were going to win that divisional matchup, but they got dirty. We are not the Steelers, Packers, or Niners with an air of winning permanently on the team. Go ahead and blow it up since it's built so poorly and see how many 10-win seasons come with it." So with that being said, guys, I'm going to close this out. Tap in, a lot to break down and discuss here. Again, it's going to be a long off season. Hopefully the Sabres get in the playoffs. I haven't checked the standings in a minute, but last I saw, we weren't that far back. So I don't know, but let's talk about it all. Thanks for watching. Sub up, stay tuned. Jay Coffee talking music, news, sports, and more. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.